Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Our top focus comes in from the Bharat Jodo Yatra in its final chapter in Jammu and Kashmir. The Yatra in its last leg is in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. On Friday, Congress alleged a massive lapse in security arrangements for the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. Meanwhile, as the Kashmir police denied any such breach in security, it all got very political very quickly. In midst of heavy snowfall, biting cold, the Bharat Jodo Yatra in its final chapter started from Banihal towards Srinagar. Till Kazi Kunj, all was well, other than inclement weather. Walking alongside Rahul was former J&K CM and Vice President of the NC, Umar Abdullah. 1 kilometer inside Kazi Kunj and chaos. Rahul Gandhi abandons the Yatra, leaves for Anantnag in a police vehicle. Congress alleges a massive security lapse and announces the Yatra will be halted till proper security arrangements are made.
Last 15 minutes, there is no responsible police officer or security officer, and there is no proper safeguarding measures. What they have done earlier, totally withdrawn. Everybody knows that this is the most sensitive area. Why they are doing like this? Why they are doing like this? This is totally an irresponsible stand by the security forces.
The Congress leaders stopped the Yatra saying there was zero security and this was a serious security lapse. After half an hour wait, now you're seeing that amidst heavy security presence, the Yatra is actually moving ahead.
In Kazi Kunj, the Bharat Jodo Yatra marched on without Rahul Gandhi later, till Rahul reappeared and levelled grave charges. That there were inadequate security arrangements. There were security lapses by the administration in sensitive areas.
आज काफी बड़ा रिसेप्शन यात्रा के शुरुआत में हुआ टनल के बाद, और टनल के बाद जो पुलिस अरेंजमेंट था वो बिल्कुल कोलैप्स कर गया, और जो पुलिस वाले क्राउड को कंट्रोल करते हैं, रस्सियों को मैनेज करते हैं, वो या चले गए या दिखे नहीं। तो मेरी जो सिक्योरिटी डिटेल थी, उन्होंने हमें कहा कि हमें आगे नहीं चलना चाहिए।
Rahul Gandhi stated he will join the Yatra again on Saturday, but security remains a concern.
एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की जिम्मेदारी है कि जो क्राउड कंट्रोल होता है, पुलिस का जो रोल होता है, उसको गारंटी करें। मुझे मालूम नहीं क्यों हुआ, बट कल और परसों ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए।
The Kashmir Zone Police shortly tweeted, taking on the Congress claim of a security lapse, saying adequate security was there. However, the organizers did not inform the police of a sudden swell in numbers at Banihal. The security lapse charge quickly turned political.
A decision had to be taken instantaneously, which was taken by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his security team, that keeping in mind the huge crowds, but the sparse security forces, that it is better that he completes this 13-kilometer stretch by road.
जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता ने जब श्री राहुल गांधी जी की इस यात्रा से दूरी बना ली, तो श्री राहुल गांधी जी ने सुरक्षा का बहाना लगाकर एक प्रोपेगेंडा किया, दुष्प्रचार किया और अपनी यात्रा को स्थगित किया। सुरक्षा की यहां तक बात है, पुख्ता सुरक्षा के इंतजाम श्री राहुल गांधी जी की यात्रा के संदर्भ में पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर में है।
Umar Abdullah also stepped in defense of Rahul Gandhi.
मैं इस यात्रा में जुड़ा हुआ हूं क्योंकि जो मकसद इस यात्रा का है, इस मुल्क को जोड़ना और एक पैगाम भेजना कि हम सब एक साथ मिल जाने चाहिए, मैं उस पैगाम को लेके इस यात्रा के साथ जुड़ा हुआ हूं।
It's the last 2 days of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, set to culminate on 30th January with Rahul Gandhi unfurling the tricolour at the Congress office in Srinagar. The Jammu-Kashmir leg has not been devoid of one controversy a day. Will the next 2 days be uneventful? Bureau Report, India Today. So the moot question this time around, viewers, has been what the Congress claims huge security lapse when it comes down to the Jammu-Kashmir police, who's turned around and said not a security lapse, it was a communication lapse at the hand of none else but the Congress. They did not inform the local police that there's going to be a groundswell of sorts at Banihal, where the yatra started today, from Banihal to Qazi Kunz. Which one was it? Let's bring in our guest this evening, Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS, Special Director, Intelligence Bureau, former Secretary Security, Central Information Commissioner, joins us. So does Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, and Tehseen Poonawala, Political Analyst. If our political guests allow us, I want to bring in Mr. Azad first. Mr. Azad, you know, what's interesting is, the fact is Rahul Gandhi gets Z+ security. There is a security cordon that travels through him or has traveled with him for the entire duration of this yatra. Where was the communication lapse as per the local police? Because the Congress claims the outer cover completely disappeared, and that is when Rahul Gandhi took that decision in accordance with his Z+ security and left the yatra in a bulletproof vehicle.
Preeti, you know, I find this a very strange situation of lack of miscommunication. First, let me say that the arrangements which have been made both in Jammu and in Kashmir have been pretty adequate. If you look at the involvement and the deployment, it's pretty heavy. It's 15 coys of the CAPF. It's about 10 coys or around that of Jammu and Kashmir police. There is ridge domination, there is a route domination, and there are other kinds of deployment which I would like to talk about here. So, and in Jammu also it was there. And then finally when he entered Kashmir, the thing which I heard from Mr. Rahul Gandhi was that the outer cordon, that is the rope line, which is around the yatra, wasn't there. Now the police admits that there was a groundswell of people and there were many people. So the question is that obviously there is some lack of communication. I don't know what has really happened, because otherwise it's quite apparent, because the police has also said that we are willing to give security, and I think it is in the interest of the present regime in Kashmir to give adequate security, because in a democratic country, I mean, it should be everywhere, it should be allowed, it should be a show of democratic might. So my conclusion is that in this case there has been definitely some miscommunication. I won't blame it, because from the either side is it in the interest of the regime to give security, and of course from the other side it's a great success for the yatra that there were so many people joining him in Kashmir proper.
Tehseen Poonawala, if there was a communication lapse and not really an orchestrated security lapse, did the Congress party somewhere down the line, we heard Mr. Venugopal also, make it political?
Preeti, thank you so much for having me on the show, and at the onset, thank you to Mr. Azad for his services to our country. There are two issues that I want to highlight. Issue number one, let's also understand that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is a man under a lot of threat. His father and his grandmother have been martyred for this country, and therefore he enjoys the security cover that the Honorable Home Minister of India enjoys, that same level of security cover. So there has to be, he's a marked man. Point number two, the Jammu and Kashmir police, a very professional force, is on record saying there was a groundswell of support for the Bharat Jodo Yatra. This leads to two pertinent questions. Did the Jammu and Kashmir police not anticipate it? Was it not a local intelligence failure then? Point number one. Point number two, and Mr. Azad will bear me out, even if there is a communication gap, and let me say this very humbly, it is not from Mr. Rahul Gandhi or Mr. K.C. Venugopal to communicate it to the Jammu and Kashmir police. There is local administration, there is CRPF that protects Sri Rahul Gandhi, and there is a multitude of organizations that are involved in security for somebody who is so highly protected. It is their professional assessment and they have to communicate it. So it is a communication between two agencies that needs to be questioned. Please understand that the CRPF has not countered Mr. Gandhi and said, look, there was Jammu and Kashmir police in adequate numbers. They are sticking by saying, we advise Mr. Gandhi not to continue on this yatra because there was a lapse in security, something even Mr. Omar Abdullah has testified to. That brings me to my third point and my last point. We all remember when the Honorable Prime Minister was stuck in Punjab, and all of us together said that when it comes to security for our top national leaders, there must be absolutely no compromise, whether it's Congress or BJP. And therefore, what the BJP said then, there should be no politics. My advice to the BJP with folded hands is, don't do politics now. There can be no lapse. Whether it is Shri Narendra Modi ji, where, the person came to garland Mr. Modi recently in Varanasi, and we know that an ex-prime minister lost his life when he was garlanded, and may God give Mr. Modi a very long and healthy life, or whether Shri Rahul Gandhi, we must not accept any lapse, because Mr. Azad will bear testimony. A 1 second lapse, a 1 microsecond lapse will be the difference between life and death. And we are a great democracy which will not allow our leaders or our opposition leaders to go to this.
Ms. Poonawala, just a small correction. The Garland incident which happened with the Prime Minister happened in Karnataka, not Varanasi. But
I'm sorry, I
points
apologize.
made.
I apologize.
No problem. No problem. Just to be factually correct. Yeah, I just wanted to.
You got the gist of what I said.
Yes.
But there was also a lapse in Varanasi. Sorry, there was also a lapse in Varanasi where somebody entered
I want to bring in Sanju Verma into this. Sanju Verma, if the Congress is seeming to politicize, is what the BJP says, the BJP hasn't been far behind doing so. Many of your leaders have come out and said that there were no people, therefore Rahul Gandhi fled the Yatra. It's a sensitive issue. Why bring politics in all of it? This was at the advisory of the Z Plus security, which is governed by the CRPF, that Rahul Gandhi actually left the Yatra. If he hadn't done so, then, the politics would have been that Rahul Gandhi did not pay heed to his own security.
Okay, Preeti, this is a very sensitive issue, and before I, make some pertinent points, the BJP, and of course, I speak for the BJP, we wish Rahul Gandhi a long and healthy life, barring keeping aside our political and ideological differences, whatever they may be. I just want to say a couple of things here. You raised a very pertinent point. Was this, just a communication lapse? Was this a deliberate and willful orchestrated security lapse? I have this to say, and I say this with a lot of responsibility, Preeti. This was neither a communication lapse, nor was this an orchestrated security lapse. I want to quote the Kashmir Zonal Police, and the Kashmir Zonal Police reports to the highest authority, which is the DGP of Jammu and Kashmir Police, in this case Mr. Dilbag Singh, and the IGP Mr. Vijay Kumar. When the Kashmir Police has tweeted, I think we need to take that on board without being doubting Thomases. They have clearly said that only authorized persons as identified by the organizers, the Congress top brass in this case, and the crowd that was already frisked, they were the ones who were allowed inside towards the route of the Yatra. Organizers and managers of BJY did not intimate about the large gathering from Banihal joining the Yatra, which thronged the Yatra near the starting point. So A, there was no communication of people joining Rahul Gandhi's BJY from Banihal. Point number 2, Rahul Gandhi and his security and his administrative staff, Jairam Ramesh, the entire paraphernalia, did not even bother to inform the J&K police, which is what they are supposed to do, that Rahul Gandhi was summarily ending his yatra at Kazigund. Point number 3, and the most important one. Preeti, I have been with Tehseen Poonawala on various debates, including debates after that horrific lapse on 5th January 2022, when Charanjit Singh Channi of the Congress was the Chief Minister of Punjab, and I clearly remember, because I have an excellent memory, Tehseen Poonawala clearly saying that the Punjab dispensation has nothing to do with the PM security, despite the fact that the PM's cavalcade was stuck for more than 20 minutes near the Bhatinda flyover within less than 10 kilometers of fast artillery range. You know what Tehseen said then? And that is what the entire Congress brass said. Official and unofficial spokespersons who tout themselves as political analysts, they said, the PM security is determined as per the blue book. So what if the Chief Secretary did not receive frantic phone calls? So what if the BJP of Punjab did not respond to frantic phone calls of the SPG? So what if Chief Minister Channi did not, go and welcome the Prime Minister as is customary? Though after 2 hours he was seen attending press conferences, while saying that I could not attend, I could not meet the Prime Minister because mujhe corona hua tha.
Okay, Sanju Verma, you made a charge. Tehseen wants to come in for a rebuttal. I'll allow him that, and I'll go to Mr. Azad then. Tehseen, very quickly, Sanju Verma is, leveled charges against your own perspective, which has clearly shifted in exactly a year, is what she says, along with, a borderline personal jibe as well. Go ahead, Tehseen.
Personal jibes are always good. It shows that I'm a superstar. But the larger issue is this. Look, even when the Honorable Prime Minister was stuck in Punjab, I said one thing, that it was ridiculous that the Honorable Prime Minister was stuck on a highway for 20 minutes. And somebody whose wife's family has seen some amount of SPG security, I said it then and I'm saying it now, that the SPG should have got the Honorable Prime Minister out, irrespective of what Punjab police they don't know. You cannot have an SPG protectee stuck at one place for 20 minutes. Pakistan's across the border. They had drones. They could use anything against the Honorable Prime Minister. I stick to that position. And the Supreme Court has now looked into that matter. Now I'm coming to Sri Rahul Gandhi and I'm again saying there should be no politics. In this particular case, Mr. Gandhi's security asked him, he cannot do that, and he complied just as the Honorable Prime Minister complied when his security said so in Punjab. So let's come to one issue. I repeat the point that is not being addressed to the elephant in the room. It is not Mr. Gandhi, Mr. K.C. Venugopal, etc. who go to the police. The list that is given to the police or to the administration, to the CRPF, is of the Bharat Jodo Yatris who are registered. The rest of them, obviously it's a Pad Yatra. Obviously people are going to come in thousands and in lakhs or in hundreds or whatever that may be number based on the success to see him, to join him. I mean, if Shah Rukh Khan comes, there's going to be a crowd. If Rahul Gandhi and Modi ji walks on the street, there's going to be an even bigger crowd. That's common sense. There is local intelligence. There are multitude of agencies. There's army, there is Delhi police, there's Jammu and Kashmir police, there's CRPF, there's other local intelligence units, there's anti-terror units out there. I mean, there has to be communication between them.
Okay.
They are the ones. How can you not anticipate crowd
hold
coming
on to that
see
thought. I want to
Gandhi
bring in
walk?
Mr. Azad back into this conversation. And Mr. Azad, when you look at it as a pure security expert, because, one can, read politically into this till kingdom come, but ultimately, what do you think really went down? Because if there was a groundswell of sorts, why is it that A, it wasn't anticipated by the local police, and B, that the CRPF, who actually mans the Z plus security, didn't quite communicate and handle it with the local police?
Well, there are a couple of issues here, and let me say the political comments are extraneous to the security issue. You see, the first thing is, whenever a Z plus security is on the move, there are two things. One, if he is moving individually and whichever area he goes into, the CRPF has to do a liaison with the state government or the state police and do the appropriate arrangements. But when there is a yatra involved, this is a very, very difficult security management issue. So when you are on a yatra like this, then it is not only a liaison between the CRPF team and the state police, but the intelligence agencies and other issues also get into, especially in a place like J&K. Now the first point is definitely there must have been a liaison between the CRPF and the state police on the issue. As to what is the reason for the CRP to advise the inner core, why it advised Rahul Gandhi for not carrying forward the yatra, I don't know, except for one line which came in Mr. Rahul Gandhi's statement, which said that the rope line strategy was not working, which means that the inner group of people, the very 5 people who were inside the rope line, the rope line itself disappeared, which means that the outer people who had come started mingling with the inner people. That is the issue.
Right.
So in this respect, this is the crux of the security which is there. But I would not say anything more unless there is an inquiry as to why this happened. And I'm sure this has happened because of miscommunication, because it's not that the police would not be wanting to provide security, because they had been doing it.
But the fact is, Sanju Verma, the matter is so sensitive that whether there was a communication lapse, ultimately something was lost in translation, and what transpired was, and it's a very good thing that an immediate call was taken to remove Rahul Gandhi from what could have been unsafe for him.
Preeti, I will borrow that phrase of yours. It's quite interesting. What was lost in translation? What should not be lost in translation is the fact that Rahul Gandhi and his Putteri Jairam Ramesh included have been making spurious, reckless and baseless allegations. Need I remind you, Preeti, though you are a seasoned journalist and I'm sure you're aware, that on the 23rd of December, barely a few weeks back,
Rahul Gandhi and his team said that the Haryana police had not provided security to BJY when it went to Haryana. On 28th December, Rahul Gandhi accused Amit Shah and the Union Home Minister and his office of not providing adequate security to BJY in Delhi. So there have been a series of unfounded allegations which are yet to be proved true. And I just end by saying one small thing. Preeti, please. Tessin, I did not disturb you. I want to just say this to you, Preeti. If you look at the second tweet by the Kashmir Zonal Police, that's very important. Full security arrangements were made in place, including 15 companies of CAPF, 10 companies of J&K Police, comprising of quick reaction teams, route domination, lateral deployment of special forces. Special forces are used only in extreme internal security related matters, but that was also provided to Rahul Gandhi.
I just take one line.
All right, okay, just one line. I think I need to end the show.
Just one line. Shri Rajiv Gandhi ji's SPG was withdrawn and he was given state and Z security, and he lost his life when there was a security breach for a matter of 50 or 40 seconds. His body could be identified, it had to be stitched together. Let's not take national security of anybody,
with that.
or the life security of any of our national leaders.
All right, okay, let's just...
That's so unfair, Sanju.
Okay, let's just end it there. Let's just end it. Okay. You know, ultimately, these are very, very sensitive issues, and I think Mr. Azad, would subscribe to that, that ultimately, what went down, was it, a communication lapse, whatever it was. The fact is that Rahul Gandhi was removed from it, and with the immediacy that he was, is notable. But last 2 days, viewers, left of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Let's hope everything goes uneventful, at least in terms of a security breach, because there have been many instances that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has been dogged with when it comes down to security breach.